Hi everyone, today I would like to read to you and reflect upon another beautiful passage that comes from the first chapter of the book Walden by David Thoreau. And again, the title of the first chapter of Walden is Economy. So I'm going to go ahead and read the passage aloud to you first, and then I would like to read to you a reflection that I wrote about it in my journal. So here goes the passage. Most of the luxuries and many of the so-called comforts of life are not only not indispensable, but positive hindrances to the elevation of mankind. With respect to luxuries and comforts, the wisest have ever lived a more simple and meager life than the poor. The ancient philosophers, Chinese, Hindoo, Persian, and Greek, were a class than which none has been poorer in outward riches, none so rich in inward. We know not much about them. It is remarkable that we know so much of them as we do. The same is true of the more modern reformers and benefactors of their race. None can be an impartial or wise observer of human life, but from the vantage ground of what we should call voluntary poverty. Of a life of luxury, the fruit is luxury, whether in agriculture or commerce or literature or art. There are nowadays professors of philosophy, but not philosophers. Yet it is admirable to profess because it was once admirable to live. To be a philosopher is not merely to have subtle thoughts, nor even to found a school, but so to love wisdom as to live according to its dictates, a life of simplicity, independence, magnanimity, and trust. It is to solve some of the problems of life, not only theoretically, but practically. So that is what I wanted to share with you today from Walden. And now I am going to go ahead and read to you the reflection that I wrote about it in my journal. And by the way, I just started writing in a new journal, which is very exciting. Before I read the reflection aloud to you, I wanted to show it to you. So it starts on that page, which is the first page of my journal. And then it goes on to the next page. So I will go ahead and read that entire reflection aloud to you now. Here it goes. I have noticed that the people who have impacted me the most, those I would call truly wise, are rarely impressive on the surface. They do not lead with credentials or wealth. Their lives are often quiet, sometimes even overlooked. But when they speak, it comes from a deep place. I have met people like this in unexpected corners of life, and they remind me that the most beautiful kind of richness cannot be seen. It is something that grows slowly and inwardly, and it seems to require a certain kind of outward simplicity to take root. In my experience, the pursuit of simplicity is not about rejecting the world, but about choosing what matters most. I have observed that when my life becomes too crowded, whether with distractions, expectations, or even my own ambitions, I lose touch with the quieter voice inside me, the one that sees clearly and feels deeply. The times when I have felt most alive and aligned were not marked by outward success, but by a sense of inner coherence. At such times, I was usually writing, speaking, or simply being present with another person. I felt like I was living from the inside out. This kind of presence requires the willingness to strip away what is unnecessary so that something more essential can emerge. This is not always easy, as our culture rewards visibility and speed. But the lives that move me most and will always move me most are those shaped by intention rather than image. They are the richest. Thank you so much for listening.